It's strange having to do this knowing that Concord is going to be canceled and refunded in 3 days. But I already recorded this video, so now I'm going to do the voiceover and hope you enjoy what it's like watching me redesign a very bland character designed based off of a trash can or a shop vac. I'm not sure what this was supposed to be, but it's a tank robot of the blandest sort. So I'm redesigning it into something a little more palatable.
We'll get to that in 30 seconds, but let me introduce myself. I'm Mike S. Miller, 32-year veteran of the comic book industry, DC, Marvel, Game of Thrones, Hedge Knight artist, and creator of numerous intellectual properties, including Lone Star, available now at LoneStarComic.com. Now I'm here to give my take on where my industry has gone, where the general media landscape has taken our culture over the span of my lifetime, and where I'd like to see it go in the future. I'm not here to hate everything or to assume the worst for clicks, but I am here to fight the culture war, as I have been doing since the AOL message boards were a thing back in 1996. I am that old. If you think the culture is worth saving and worth fighting for, please stick around and join the Blacklist Universe family. We're here to make a difference, and hope you are too. Now, back to the story.
What I'm doing is I'm taking the existing designs and I'm giving them a little bit of a beef, or I don't know, I'm making them interesting. So these shoulder pads did exist, and I took sort of the segmented shoulder pads. I put them on steroids a little bit so that it gives it this cool sort of, this sweeping silhouette that, it echoes the roundness of the head. I did want to keep the head and the torso essentially the same as the original, because you want to recognize the character as the character. I didn't want to just say, hey, here's my redesign. It looks nothing like the original design. It's like, no, that's just creating a new character from scratch. I'm not creating a new character from scratch. I'm taking their design. I'm keeping sort of the heart of it. Haha, literally in this sense, because I kept that little heart thing on the chest, which I know it's not a heart. It's like some weird V thing. But it looked like a heart to me, and I wanted to make that important. More on that later. I wanted to take all of the little designs that they had that had some minute amount of potential and sort of beef them up into cool shapes. And that's kind of the thing with design. Design isn't just an overall aesthetic. It is making every part of the design interesting, right? So now, yeah, I grant you maybe the least interesting part of this design is the stuff that I haven't changed. There's that heart. But taking each of their unique pieces and giving it interesting shapes, something interesting for your eye to look at, that's what design is about. You don't want to be bored looking at a character and looking over a character. It's important, and I grant you, it is important for your eyes to have a place to rest on any piece of art. And that's what it is when you're designing something. You're designing something to be a piece of art, right? That the best cars in the world, they're beautiful. You want to look at the whole thing because it's a piece of art. The best boats, the best houses, the best. If a designer was involved, the designer is an artist. If the designer was a bad artist, you get something like the characters from Concord. I hate to be that blunt, but whoever designed these characters and then whoever built them to make them look worse than the actual designs, because I saw one of the designs, it was moderately better than the final version. These people aren't artists. I don't know what they are. I don't know, man. Okay, maybe they're artists. They're certainly not designers. Or maybe they're designers and they're certainly not artists. I'm not really even sure how that works. But one thing I do when I'm designing a robot like this, I like it to be functional. So you can see how the joints and the arms and the legs, the attachments to the joints, they allow for true functionality. So you could actually take this. I think I get it from my dad. He was an engineer. And I used to design like transformers when I was a kid that would actually transform. So I'd draw them in each step transforming. And also I was the artist of G.I. Joe versus Transformers. You can probably still find a copy on eBay somewhere. But that's not the point. I forgot the point. But anyways, everything has to be interesting. You want to especially on a robot, right? You want to, I don't want to sit here and repeat myself, and you want everything to be interesting, but nothing should be boring, nothing should be bland, nothing should be off the shelf. It should all be unique and fun to look at. And here I'm taking that GoPro or whatever it was on his back, and I'm turning it into a gun, because this is supposed to be a fighting game where you fight people. So this robot should not just be a trash can with a GoPro on it, or whatever it is they were going for. But all right, now that I'm getting near completion, see, even there, I'm just these tiny little details that I'm adding, they add a certain amount of interest. Now here it is, the silhouette. How much cooler is the silhouette? And as I mentioned in the other show, what you do want from a character you're designing is an interesting silhouette, a unique identifier where you can see him in the shadow at 12 pixels high and be like, hey, there's IG-88, or there's Batman, or there's, whoever it is, whatever it is. You want to be able to recognize them from a small silhouette. It's important to character design. Otherwise, it might as well be a non-player character, something that just blends into the background, something you don't care about. But you want your main characters to be unique, identifiable, and a solid silhouette helps with that. I was watching another designer talk about how also doing asymmetrical characters will stand them apart from like symmetrical characters who can be very cookie cutter. And again, that's part of the reason why I took the heart on this one. I know I'm not showing it right now, but the heart thing, I wanted to turn that into sort of the logo or the symbol for this character, so that at a point you wouldn't even need to see the character. Like if it's in this dark room where everything's dark, and then you see the heart light up, and you'll be like, oh, that's, I don't even know the name of this character. I knew it, but it's like some really dumb name. This game is dumb on so many levels. I don't understand how they spent $150 million making this game this dumb. How did they sucker Sony into spending $150 million making this trash game? I have no idea. But that, I digress. This is about design. This isn't about how stupid the politics and the diversity, equity, and inclusion forced an otherwise, I don't know. I think they're a decent game studio, because looking at the gameplay, looking at the actual graphics, it's all very, very competent stuff. The gameplay does obviously look just like Overwatch, but I mean, visually, it's very well put together. It's smooth. Gameplay looks good. So you've got a lot of talent there at the studio, but the vital stuff like character design, it's absolute garbage. It's more trash than the original design of this trash can character. I don't know. To me, it's confusing. I actually have a video on conspiracies of why Sony might have dumped $150 million into this boondoggle, but that's what they should have called it. They should have called it boondoggle. But yeah, it's all speculative. So again, here I'm doing a very shorthand anime coloring style, because I don't want to spend like inordinate amounts of time coloring this thing. Coloring can take me a long time if I'm doing all this detailed rendering and whatnot. So I'm doing the 3-tone, you have your hue, you have your tint, and you have your tone to give it that sort of anime feeling. And then I'm hitting it up with these highlights because I want it to look like metal. I want it to look like it's hard, and it's sort of a visual shorthand. But you can even see it in things like cars, the way cars are painted, right? You see a car, it's shiny. You feel like that thing is hard. Even the plastic bumpers, when they're shiny, you feel like they're hard, right? Conversely, if you see a car, it could be the identical car, but they put a wrap on it with that matte finish, the dull looking finish, it doesn't look as hard. It is how your mind differentiates between things that are hard and things that are soft. Like a kitten isn't going to be shiny, right? But your cell phone is, because your cell phone's hard. I don't need to delve into this too much. I also wanted to scrape the paint off and make some of this just the metal showing through, because it is a robot, and you kind of want that. You don't want the whole thing to look, over painted. There's certain joints and stuff, like, especially the joints. You don't want the joints to have paint on them. And it just adds a little aesthetic pleasing because it breaks up the color and it makes the eye feel like it's got places to go and things to see. And again, with the heart on the chest and the little different color variations and just a hint here and there of asymmetry, and it kind of gives it a unique feel where you might have a series of robots that looks like this that don't have asymmetrical parts, and they could just be NPCs or an army of these drones, right? But giving it that, here I go, I want to hit that heart with a little glow, and it really gives it like this signifier. Now, bam, the heart is there, and it says, this is this character, the character whose name I cannot recall for the life of me. And I, yeah, here I forgot to go ahead and fill in the grays on the ball joints. Again, the ball joints that are functional. You could totally make a toy out of this. And actually looking at it now, that'd be a pretty cool toy, right? Now I'm going in and I'm adding some color variations so that we can have some skins, some varying skins for the character. And I'm using contrasting colors because that's always the most pleasing to the eye, even if they're not exactly contrasting colors. That is the ideal way for you to pump up colors. And then you can have the different variations with those contrasting colors. And then you can step away and it gives you all these choices. And then I went in also and I added some textures here to make it look sort of battle worn, a little dirty, a little grimed up. And if I was taking longer on this, I would have done some spots where you like scrape off the paint to kind of make it really look like it's been through some heated battles. Here I'm lighting up some of the bits and pieces. Oh man, this is really starting to look like a really cool character that I would like to play in a game. Maybe Overwatch can steal this from my channel and make it into a character in their game that's not getting canceled, as opposed to Concord, which is. Here I'm moving it into what I decided was my favorite skin paint combination, the black and yellow. Hello. I'd call him Bumblebee, but I think that's taken. Anyways, I know that this is getting canceled. Maybe this helped you as an artist or a designer yourself take into account things that are interesting and things that people might want to look at when you are designing a character. I hope it was helpful for you in that regard, and I hope you had fun watching it. Let me know in the comment section below, and also in the comments, let me know what other characters you might want to see redesigned. I am open to doing this more often. This is a lot of fun, and frankly, the last video I did of this was my best performing video of the last 2 weeks. So let me know what you want to see, and I will seriously take it into consideration in doing my next videos. I actually already did one other video of one of the female characters, the one with the golf ball for a head. Oh my, terrible design. And I will do a voiceover for that one probably today or tomorrow and get that up for you as well. Anyways, again, please do leave a comment, and if you have not already, please do subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss another one. Like and share and do all that fun stuff, and hopefully I'll see you in the comments section or on the next video. Have a great day.